The Curriculum Council had a successful and productive year in 2017-2018. During that school year, the Council reconvened into a very different format and tackled some major and pressing issues surrounding education. One of the areas of concern for Curriculum Council was the existing assessment system and the weighting of assessments. In October of 2017, ELA and math department chairs from the high schools, along with all of Curriculum Council, attended the In-District Solution Tree Common Formative Assessment Training by Cassandra Erkins. This workshop led to many ahas and discoveries by teachers and administrators alike. Based on the learnings and findings from the training, Curriculum Council embarked on a journey to revamp the assessment and assessment cycles in Val Verde. What was decided upon is what you see before you on the slide. In a nutshell, there will be much more site autonomy in regards to assessments. The first step in the new system is that all grade level subject teams will need to meet as PLNs and agree upon district-wide essential standards following the PLC process. Once that has occurred, grade level teams can work on the various different layers of the assessment system. The new VVUSD assessment system will have three main components. The first component of the assessment system is the performance task. Each grade level subject team will have a district-wide performance task that will be administered to students once a semester. The district-wide essential standards, state testing specifications, and high-stakes testing specifications like DBQ, AP, SAT, CAST, etc., is what will be used to design the performance tasks. Performance tasks will be created by either the district, a team of teachers, or an entire grade level PLN, depending on the subject and its particular needs. Teachers, for consensus, will have an opportunity to vet performance tasks. Performance task data is shared at a district level. Data analysis is focused on district essential learning. All performance tasks are the same across a particular subject and grade level. The second component of the assessment system will be the site benchmarks, midterms, and finals. There will first be an agreed upon number of site benchmarks by subject. Once that has occurred, grade level subject teams will then create a blueprint for similar site benchmarks. This assessment blueprint will clearly delineate how many questions each district-wide essential standard will have on a site-created benchmark. This blueprint will allow site grade level teams to then create their own benchmarks based upon this agreed upon criteria, but also allow each site to add additional items that reflect the needs of their students and any additional site identified important to know and do standards. This means that benchmarks across the district will no longer be required to be identical. Instead, they will be similar. For example, 9th grade ELA may agree that one of the district-wide essential standards is Reading 1.0, and that there will be at least 4 questions at DOK Level 2 on Reading 1.0 on the Semester 1 final exam. What exact reading passage and which 4 questions ends up on the final is chosen by each site, but each site will have 4 questions on that standard. Then, if Rancho wants to add 2 more questions on Reading 2.0, and Citrus wants to add 3 questions to their final on Language 4.0, because those sites want to assess those standards in addition to the district essential standards, they may do so. Rancho and Citrus's finals may be very different, but when they get together to do data analysis, they will be able to talk about how well their students did on Reading 1.0, and not get bogged down on whether or not they thought a question was fair or not, or whether a passage was too hard to read. Instead, they will talk about standard mastery. Benchmark data is at a district level. Data analysis is focused on district essential learning. All benchmarks are similar across a particular subject and grade level. The third component of the VVUSD assessment system is the site and classroom embedded formative assessments. These are the ongoing, frequent, and formal and informal assessments given at the site and classroom level. These are created by sites based on the needs and are given at site discretion. These are multidimensional and may be embedded into instruction and can be high-tech, low-tech, a ticket out the door, or given in a variety of formats. Site teams determine the number and frequency of these assessments. Data is shared at a site team level. Data analysis is focused on district essential learnings and site essential learnings. All formative assessments are similar across a particular subject and grade level. This second slide shows how the district PD days will work in conjunction with the new assessment cycle. In August, the goals of the subject PLN time will be to ensure that every teacher knows where to find all course materials such as the essential standards, year plans, pacing guides, units of study, and any other relevant teaching materials. This will also be the time, once we get well into the assessment cycle, where the assessment blueprints could be reviewed so that teachers know what would need to be on a site-created midterm and final. Performance tasks could be vetted and planning time would be given so that all teachers could make sure that they are equipped to administer the Semester 1 performance task. The whole purpose of the first district subject grade level PLN time is to start the year off with all teachers understanding the Semester 1 essential learning, skills, and assessments for their content area. This PLN time will be led by department chairs. In between the August PD days and the first core day, sites and teachers will, of course, do what they do best and go about the business of teaching students. There will be common formative assessments given during this time, but the number and timing of those are up to sites. The first semester performance task will also be administered during this time at agreed upon testing window by the district PLN. The data from the performance task will be brought to the core day, and the department chairs will lead the data analysis of the performance task. After the core day, teachers will have time to reteach any concepts on the PT that the students did not master before the end of the semester, as in true PLC fashion. Furthermore, more site common formative assessments will be administered at the site team's discretion, leading up to similar blueprint-based site final exams. The January PD day will flow much like the August department PLN time. Department chairs will lead the time with teachers reviewing essential standards, assessment blueprints, performance tasks, etc. for semester 2 this time, and allow planning time and sharing of best practices in order to prepare for semester 2 content. The second semester core day, again, will be data analysis for the semester 2 performance task, and then after core day will be time for reteaching more site common formative assessments leading up to similar blueprint-based site final exams. So, on district PLN days, all teachers will meet and teams will be led by department chairs. On the full PD days, we will review and prep for teaching. And on the core days, we will have data analysis for performance tasks. This new assessment cycle is very different from what we have had before. It will take a while to understand and get used to and require flexibility on all our parts. Every subject team is in a slightly different place as well with where they might jump into this cycle. For example, each grade level team in ELA has already agreed upon essential standards and therefore may spend more time this year refining and developing high-quality performance tasks, whereas middle school history social studies has just adopted new textbooks and has not selected essential standards, and so will be starting there. It is perfectly okay that all subjects are at different points of creating the assessment blueprints and performance tasks. This will be a journey. In education, there is always that sense of unfinishedness. I am proud to be part of a curriculum council who are willing to look past the past practices and realize they were not working perfectly, and being willing to dig into the hard work of solutions and doing what is best to make sure students are truly learning.